collaboration with NUS Enterprise Block 71. Again, today we are going to present to you definitely the lessons that we're going to present today is the user research for product design. And of course, today we have a special guest, which is Sanchita from the product design team to present to you and to talk to you about the aspects of design itself. So we're going to get this started right now, and then I'll pass the screen over to Sanchita to be able to present and definitely kickstart the program. So kickstart this, Sanchita, you can actually start to share screen as well as unmute yourself for this session.
Okay. So let me also start my video. Just can I share my video?
Yeah, I can hear you.
And let me see if I can start my video as well. Okay, I can't. So that's okay. I'll just share my screen. So can you see my screen
Yep,
as well?
I can see your screen.
I need to put it on full screen.
Yep.
So good afternoon, everyone. And thanks for joining our session, especially on Friday afternoon when you've just had a nice lunch and perhaps getting ready to get off work early. Enjoy a nice dinner as well in the evening. So today's topic is about user research for product design. And since you've joined, I'm expecting that you are excited about user research, though it's not always an exciting thing for some people, but most people find it very exciting when they get involved in it and when they start doing user research. So this is about, obviously I am from Lazada and I head the user research and UX research team, which is for the product, basically within the product team. So most of my work relates to product research. Do I do other research as well? Yes, we do. And when I go into the presentation, I will also share with you what else we do to make a good product. So this whole webinar is about understanding consumer needs and how we go about understanding those needs and how we convert them into product innovation in e-commerce. So the first thing is, why do we even need to understand the users? So as a core value, as one of our core values, because we have 6 core values, as most of you know, that Jack Ma had famously quoted, and this is a very, it's a big fact of any company actually, that it has to be customer first. But it also mentions that customer first, employees second, and investors third, or stakeholders third. So this is one of our core values. And we live by it by leading it to actually one of our core strategies is about living customer first. So what does living customer first mean? To understand what the customer needs. So and this is led by our customer care team, our customer, it's obviously within Lazada, just different from product team, but we all live by it. So whether it's product team or customer care or any other team, logistics, everyone lives by the fact that we have to be living customer first. So it's about building customer experiences by obviously taking away all the negative and the issues and building the positive ones. And then again, at the end of it is the wow factors, which is the innovations which comes from Lazada. But how do we go about doing it? Obviously, this is all driven by understanding the user. So user understanding is at the heart of it. So we have some tenets of research in Lazada because it's a big organization. We obviously have a lot of different groups who are doing research across different countries, across different domains, across different topics. So what are the basic tenets we follow in Lazada? One is to build empathy. And how do we build empathy? Is that we don't just talk about building empathy. Okay, so this empathy is like thrown around all the time these days. But we actually do it in practice, because what we do is we do not spoon feed our stakeholders. So stakeholders actually attend each and every interview. They take notes and they come up with their own insights or findings. They discuss with us, and then we might come up with the report, but they do attend all the interviews. And that is possible because most of our research is done in-house. So there is obviously there is quite a bit of research which is done externally by agencies or through other means, but there is a bulk of research which is done internally. And that's where stakeholders, meaning anyone who is the research stakeholders for the researchers. So they are also ultimately Lazadians. So they are employees. So they are trying to understand the users by attending these interviews. So they are involved in the entire process. So even actually, some of them even do their own interviews. They will, so we might design the discussion guide for them, or like for any IDIs or FGDs, but they actually, some of them actually do their own interview, especially for IDIs. So they get the user understanding firsthand. The other thing, which is an initiative which has been launched by customer care, is that is a customer day. We are also involved in it because obviously it's important for us to know what is going on and how we should contribute to it, and also what we should learn from it. So customer day is where there's one day dedicated every month, and there's 1 hour or 2 hours which is dedicated when the management listens to the customer directly, which means that we do short interviews. It's IDI, but not to a great extent, because obviously you can't fit too many interviews or a long interview within 2 hours. So we do small ones, and that's something which basically builds empathy among the management. And this one, obviously we have to break it down into pieces. So we just take one core issue or one core topic, and we do it every month. The other part is about self-evaluation. So research is not just about going and asking users what they think about us, but also we proactively self-evaluate, which is one of the constructive feedback mechanisms is dog fooding project, which obviously most of you know that it's about using your own platform before you even send it out to anyone else, like to the users. And then there's the double care as well, which is about, these are all kind of mechanisms which has been put in by the customer care team, and also there are other teams, tech team and product teams, and a lot of other teams involved in it. So the double care is about each Lazadian is an ambassador to the user. So any user, your family, your friends, whoever you know has any problem, has any issues, has any feedback, suggestion, there is a double care portal right on your app. And it's only available obviously for Lazadians, and they can immediately put in what exactly is the issue is. There are a lot of FAQs over there. So if you have an issue, you can even solve it instead of them going to the customer care service. You can be their customer care. So the other part is super user heuristic evaluation, which is done by our fantastic designers. So the team of designers led by my colleague Iwan does this heuristic evaluation all the time, which is they take up a topic every 2 weeks. They take up one particular user touch point, and then because we are one of the super users, we are all using our Lazada app all the time, for either buying or just browsing or just having a look at it, because we are so addicted to it by now. And also we are addicted to buying. That's a different thing. Because not because we get any company discounts, employee discounts, which is a question which a lot of people have from me, and I'm sure for my colleagues as well. We do not because of that, but generally we have very good discounts, and we go and browse and buy. So since we were super users, we thought instead of getting external experts to do a heuristic evaluation, because they won't know the issues we have, the kind of limitations we have. So we thought of doing it in-house with the full structure. I'll go through it later. And so it's done by our colleagues itself, and especially by designers who are themselves experts. So they all evaluate each other. And then the other most important thing is to be proactive, which means that we initiate our research proactively by reading and observing all sources of data. It's not about just one one research report which has been created for your topic and domain, but generally read about other research which has been done by other teams, by local teams, by other countries. And so there's a lot of knowledge sharing which happens, which leads to people proactively thinking that, okay, maybe I should also think about this, or should I think about this issue? So going into what is product research. So we'll talk about, how all these tenets of research come into the product research and how it impacts product innovation and leads to development. And then obviously we have to continuously improve after we have released the product. So I did get this question a lot, okay, that what is product research? So product research is not only about UX research, and this is something which generally comes from a lot of people who are new to UX research, or like on LinkedIn, I get this thing about UX research. And I mean, they feel that I only do usability testing and I do only UX research. It's not true. Product research is not only about UX research and definitely not about usability testing. I have a different viewpoint as well, that UX research is just one part of qualitative observational research, but that's a separate topic. So in terms of what all do we do in product research? So obviously there are a lot of different types of studies which we do in the product team itself. So we obviously usability and UX testing, which all of y'all know of when you talk about a product research for an app. Everyone thinks about usability testing and UX research, eye tracking, maybe some neuroscience. So that's definitely there. But we also do, as I said, self-evaluation. We also look into reviews and feedbacks, which has come in from different sources, maybe from people who are reviewing and rating our app, giving feedbacks through our app. So some of them will come through the Google Store or the Play Store, so the Apple Store. So those are coming in from there. Then you have from our Lazada app as well, there are reviews and feedback. We have icons and buttons over there where you can put in your feedback. So we actually read through all those verbatims, and there are verbatims from all different other sources. Those are all collated into one platform. I'll take you all through that as well. Obviously, we do a lot of satisfaction. There's continuous measurement. Some of it is done like by my team. Some of it is done by other teams, because we obviously shouldn't be evaluating our own product all the time. We need another team to evaluate us. As I said, we all evaluate each other. So there's continuous measurement, which some of it is like, I think one of the most famous ones you will always know, and you might have received a notification for, is the NPS, which is usually sent out after 15 days of you receiving a product. The other one is the delivery survey, which is just after you've received a product, you immediately receive notification for delivery. Then there's the other continuous measurement, which is through in-apps. Some of it is also under development, but right now some of it is ad hoc, some of it is continuous. So then obviously the other part is the user research. This is a big part of our of what we do, because and this is where I was mentioning about, it's not about usability testing. So we do qual, quant, ethnography, online diaries, in-app surveys. So you name the methodology, we've perhaps done it in the recent past. Even in the past 1 year, in fact, I have done all of these. And in terms of qual as well, all the different types of methodologies are used. The other part which we do, and in fact, is the start of a lot of our initiatives, or a lot of our research, is desk research and external research, and obviously looking into business intelligence data. So this is what proactively we look at, that there is, when we look at the business intelligence data, this obviously the product team, product managers look into it all the time. So once they see that there might be an issue, then we decide to do a research. And there's obviously a market intelligence team and a social listening team also, who does research on their own, and the data is all shared among each other so that we know what is going on. And also, because a lot of information about our product is also there through market intelligence or social listening, or even business intelligence. So when I was talking about be proactive, what I meant is that we go through desk and external research and reviews and feedback. So I've actually kind of blurred it, because I'm not supposed to share all these. But as you can see, we have ratings, reviews, feedbacks in a portal, which actually we get all the ratings over here with all the verbatims of what is the review. We get the feedbacks. This is about the topic, like which topic is trending in terms of feedback. So we have a dashboard. We also get verbatims and suggestions. So this, everything is like, you can actually filter down and have a look at it. So anyone who wants to, obviously there are dashboards, and then there are all the details as well as to, you know, which app version the person is using, in case we find that there is a certain issue which is coming up, which is technology related, or something which is not really really product related, but there's some issue with maybe network or some app version. So then we can fix that as well. So all this is proactively read, absorbed, and then we initiate research. The other part is the secondary research, obviously, that we go through reports from research agencies and use a journal article subscription. We have a lot of subscription to data sources, and then there's publicly available information. In fact, on LinkedIn, one of the young guy had asked me about why we even, you know, when we create a repository of research, actually he had asked me about how we maintain all our research, because there's so much research going on across teams. So and I mentioned about, you know, that we also keep a repository of reports from different research agencies, which may not have been commissioned by us, but it is something which they have done as a syndicated study, or is published it's published publicly, so it's available to us. And he was like, why do you even keep that? Because that's not your research. But then that's information, and that's very valuable information for us, because even if another agency, and especially, you know, these are experts, so if they're talking about us, and if they are, or even about the e-commerce industry, we should be listening, and we should give value to it. So this is all about looking beyond your own research studies, and not just looking into what your research study has told you. The other part is about the self-evaluation, which I was mentioning about, be your own critic. So, so we have this dog fooding internal customer community who can go and actually put in, there's an app, not an app actually, there's like, you can, there's a link where you can put in your feedback. And this again appears in that, the one which I showed to you, the portal, it appears over there, but obviously as a separate kind of, it's segregated between users versus Lazadians. But all the information is there. So we can put in our information and our details and issues which we have, because this is also coming from the fact that all this time we had this, people were putting in their feedback, but it was just that it was not collated. So recently, Christian Neil from our customer care team actually created this with the whole tech team, and there's a lot of people involved in it. So they created this one. And this one, as you know, as I was telling you about the heuristic evaluation by super users. So there are all these types of you know, it's the criteria which is already laid out, based on which there will be some which, mostly these are all standard, but there will be some which will vary depending on the topic. So this is determined by E1 every 2 weeks to 3 weeks. And then he sends it out, and then like all the different people will actually go and rate each of these criteria. So each of these criteria is, as you can see, it differs from topic to topic, it will differ. So then at the end of it, he will create a report. People will actually even not just rate it, but actually include a presentation where they put in screenshots of the issues they have faced. They mark it out that this is what I'm seeing, and this is what I want, this is my need, and this is ideally it should be this. So they actually create presentations. So people take the time to do this, and he collates everything and then shared with the topic owners. And everyone has a look at it, and obviously the improvements are made based on that. The other thing is the double care, which I just mentioned, which is about being a brand ambassador. So every Lazadian is a brand ambassador. And as you can see, you can raise a report a bug, escalate an issue, submit an idea or feedback, or submit a question you solved for your family or friends. It can be about buyer, seller, or Redmart. So coming to research. But before we get to research, I think most of you have seen this person, Lee Min-ho, in various places, perhaps in the MRT in Singapore, or in billboards, or maybe in your YouTube ads. So let's have a look at that YouTube ad just because we're talking.
Ready for Lazada's 11/11?
I'm ready. Lazada, lowest price, add to cart. 11 at Lazada, lowest price. With Lazada, double 11 at Lazada, lowest price, add to cart. Double 11 at Lazada, lowest price.
Add to cart now. Ready for Lazada's 11/11?
Bossy.
Add to cart now. Ready for Lazada's 11/11?
Solidarity. Lowest price, add to cart. Double 11 Lazada, lowest price with Lazada.
Add to cart now.
Okay, so that's a very handsome man who gets gifts from all the local celebrities. So a very lucky man. So how did we arrive at Lee Min-ho as the regional brand ambassador? As you can, that there are also local brand ambassadors, meaning from each country, but he's more the regional brand ambassador for all our 6 countries. And for those in the know, Lazada operates in 6 countries, which is Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam. So he is the regional brand ambassador for all. And then there's local ambassadors for each of these countries. How did we come about it? So why did we, why a celebrity and why K-pop? Okay, why K-pop celebrity? So this was obviously, as I said, a lot of our studies are not just based on one research, but based on multiple research. And it's not something which obviously occurred to us in one day or through one research. There was multiple research done through multiple, multiple teams as well. And then everyone was finding the similar kind of insights and findings. And then the decision was taken. So how it happened was obviously there were multiple research done by market intelligence team, which showed that celebrity endorsements can drive brand value. Before that, that we did not have any celebrity endorsements as such in the at least recent past, while some of our competition did. And that showed market intelligence that they have had some impact on their brand value because of these celebrity endorsements. So should we even go for one, and and which one to go for? Now, a lot of this is actually from ethnography. So last year we did some ethnography and user research. It showed popularity of K-pop among youngsters in this region. This was also validated by simultaneously, market intelligence was also doing their research, social was doing their research, and they all decided that K-pop is something which cuts across this region, which is so varied in culture. So, we all know we are from this region, most of us, and we know that this region is very varied in language, culture, religion. There's a lot of things which is different, but yet there is some things which bind us all. And K-pop seemed to be it. And I think most of you already know that and have seen enough research on the internet which shows this part. And perhaps some of your friends also, especially the younger ones, not perhaps my friends, because I'm not of that generation anymore. So, but some of your friends might be also interested in K-pop. And this is, and initially, because I'm perhaps not I'm not so much into K-pop. I may know some things, but I'm not somebody who will perhaps listen to it or go to concerts and all. So I was thinking that maybe it's just the females who are interested, the young females. But when we did the research and we also asked around, we saw that even males, young males, were very much interested and were very much a fan of K-pop. And this is from our ethnography. I know by now everyone is already have stared at this and wondering what is this going on. So this is a K-pop celebrity cutout in the bedroom. So when we went to the bedroom, we found this cutout, and this is actually a full-size cutout. Okay, so they have this in, like as you can see in their bedroom, because this must be her favorite K-pop celebrity. So, and they also collect all these souvenir books. And then, I think if you follow K-pop, you'll know that all the bands have a different light stick. So when you go to their concert, you have to actually carry that particular light stick, and it has like different shapes. You can also go, and if you were not aware of it, you can go and check, go on Google. You will actually see that everyone has a different shape and a different flashing light or something like some features associated with it. And they were actually collecting Astro. This is for Astro, this is BTOB. And you can see one of their phones as well is having BTOB and all these, the lights and all these as stickers on their phone. And then it's about like how she watches K-pop related, videos in her particular country. So this was something which has come up, and obviously, So, but then how did we come up with Lee Min-ho? That was based on social listening and further market intelligence studies, which helped us choose the celebrity with the best brand fit, and obviously somebody who was not a brand fit for the competition. That is also important. So they had some studies, and we can perhaps one day talk about it, because that's like, these are all a full study on its own. So talking about Lee Min-ho and celebrities. So most of you have seen him through our 11/11 campaign, right? So one of the main research which we do every year is to understand the campaign shopping experience, because the campaign shop runs from, it's like obviously 9/9 is the campaign, then we have 11/11 and 12/12 is our main campaigns, especially 11/11 because Lazada and Alibaba had started that whole Singles Day campaign. So elevating that whole campaign shopping experience is something which we look forward to every year, and we do some studies on that. So here's some key findings which this is from this year's campaign. So we did this, there was a teasing which happens, which is usually in the, like if it's 11/11, typically the teasing one will happen from 30th or about 1st to 5th or 6th. And that's the timeline for teasing one. And then you will have the teasing two, which is, sorry, I don't know why this is happening to me. So teasing two is typically from 5th or 6th. And then what we saw is that teasing one, people were okay with it, but still there, obviously this, in general, we found that Lee Min-ho was, as a brand ambassador, was building a lot of excitement and, was communicating the scale of a big sale. In Vietnam, what they found was that animations were causing a lot of eye discomfort. So even though animations is something which designers feel that might bring in value and bring in interaction and it's interactive, but the animations were causing a lot of eye discomfort. And then, so local campaign decided to tone down the animations in the teasing two stage. In Philippines, where we started the teasing earlier, I think one day earlier, users were also struggling with eye fatigue when browsing because of the bright competing colors, especially if you see this one, the purple over here versus the purple over here is very competing, and even in this one actually. So this one is still okay. This one is more like same. This one had an issue because it was leading to eye fatigue. And the local campaign team, we mentioned this to the campaign team, and they immediately adjusted the color. So the next day they had this, and this was considered much better. So the live feedback was that there's eye fatigue, and Philippines team immediately changed it, and they saw an increase in the homepage CTR after this change of color by 3%. Now, how did we do the study? Sorry, I forgot to mention that. We did it through an online forum. So we gathered about 30 respondents in every country, in all these 6 countries. We had, we got them into an online forum. Obviously, we used a software. And we had set up all these questions. We were asking them questions. They couldn't see the other person's response immediately. So there were polls, there were questions. People were asked to upload their screenshots and tell us what they like, what they do not like. So there was a lot of activity. There was a lot of interaction going on. And then once they responded, then they could see the other people's responses, and they were also responding to each other that, you know, why they liked it, what they feel. So what the colors connotate, and, you know, like what do they perceive from the colors? Does it actually represent Lazada? Does it tie up with the 11/11 campaign theme? So is the shopping experience throughout? So we started this was actually a 10-day forum, which means that these 30 respondents were recruited for this research for over 10 days. So initially they warmed up to each other by talking to each other, and then right from when we were doing teasing one, we got them involved, and they checked out what it looked like in teasing one, not just the homepage, but also the what we call the mega campaign page, which is this only appears during mega campaign. So this mega campaign page, what did they click on it? Did they not click on it? And how, you know, what did they, after they clicked on it, what did they find? Like, how did they think about the colors over there and the visual style? So it was a lot about the visuals appeal in terms of spacing, color. So these were the things which we were trying to measure. So, and then we went into teasing 2 again, asked them questions again on D-Day, which is 11/11. We asked them questions after party, after they have already bought something. Then did they stick along, and did they stick around and, you know, do more browsing on after the D11 campaign? So those also were measured, and they actually were there for the after party as well. So this was quite a extensive research. We are still writing the findings and action points, but this was immediate action points, immediate findings, which I'm presenting today. But we are still developing the full report, because there's lots of findings from it. So which will be impacting not just the designers, but also the campaign teams and perhaps the marketing branding team as well. So enough of campaign. No, not enough of campaign. So you must have played the game, which is called the Happy Bounce, or in Vietnam, if any of you attending from Vietnam, it's called Happy Up. How did we come up with that pet, that cat, which you see? Is that a cat, or is that something else? I don't know. So that's something which, how did we come up with that pet? How did we even decide on that particular game? So this started not now, but this is actually something which this whole character which you played in the game for Happy Bounce or Happy Up is something which we had decided on long ago, about in February, when we were deciding to launch a new game for gamification. And that's the time when we had a few concepts of games, okay, which mostly came from Taobao games, which were being played in China, and they were very popular over there. So we checked out a few concepts, which this is only 3. We actually had 5, I think, or 6, 5, if I remember correctly. So we found that these are all the different concepts which we were testing. There are more. So pet was one of the concepts, and then we had ranch and farm and city, you know. So what we found is that pet and ranch was performing at par, okay, and then we obviously rejected the normal orchard and farm and all. And city was anyway doing well. City was one of our, good performing games. And actually the best performing game at that point of time. And since people were already used to city, perhaps the ratings were also high among, and that's what we had seen, that people who are already playing City tend to rate it higher as well, because they obviously, from the concept, sometimes they do not get the full interaction with the other games. So what we found is that now we were just undecided between the pet and the ranch. So what we mentioned is that either we can do 2 games, which I like, obviously resource wise it was not possible. So why don't we combine both the games, where the pet actually looks after your ranch or your orchard or whatever, like something they are growing a farm, basically. And that's how the concept of a pet farm came in. So most of you have been playing the Fun Farm game, which is on Lazada, and whenever you reach the coins page, you end up playing that game. So that's something which Fun Farm was successfully launched, so that the entire game, the new game, was developed, and it's still our most popular game. So there was, as you can see, the AU visits, the uplift was 28%. So users who play Fun Farm are more active on Lazada compared to non-players. So that was the reason that that character also went into the Happy Bounce, which you may have played, or if you do not know, as you can see, that particular character is now jumping around. And there are some dogs and some bombs which are there, which might blast. And then there are also these rewards which the person can collect, and yeah. So moving from games. So as I said, it's about collecting coins, rewards, and claiming. So if you have played the Fun Farm or even Happy Bounce, it's all about collecting coins and rewards, right? Just as I was mentioning now, it's about collecting vouchers. And so what after we launched the Fun Farm, we realized people are playing Fun Farm, but they're not claiming rewards. Even though we are pushing it to them, we are actually saying, claim your reward, and they should only click on claim, and that's it. They just have to do that. But that's also something which they were not doing. And why are last coins, which obviously are coins, are called last coins, and then it can be redeemed towards vouchers and rewards. So first and foremost, some of them were not even claiming the rewards, claiming their coins. And then if they claim as well, like after they have claimed the coins, they just keep it in the coins pouch. And they do not, their wallet, I mean, not really wallet, that's a different thing, but this is more like collection of coins, which they never redeem it against vouchers and rewards. So again, we did a short survey, which was, it was kind of an in-app survey, which means, as I was mentioning, it pops up at the moment of truth. So if they go to the coins page, sorry, not the, it's a coins page, but when they land on the coins page and they see the Fun Farm game, and there's a claim button, basically claim, which pops up before they play the game, they do not click on it. And that's the first thing they see, and they do not claim on it. They browse through or they close it. So then the pop-up automatically generates itself. So that's how it is. It's triggered, basically. So what did we see after people actually went, and gave us feedback based on that in-app survey, is that there was a lack of awareness of the benefits of rewards. And also there was a lack of awareness about the redemption process. So the benefits of Fun Farm, playing Fun Farm, was we needed to communicate that you are not just playing it for fun, but also you can get free coins out of it. And then you can also get, from those free coins, you can redeem it for vouchers and rewards. But how do you redeem it? So that is also a question some of them had. That's why they were collecting the coins, but not redeeming the vouchers and rewards. So based on that finding, we went and created a page which communicated the benefits of rewards, and rewards claiming process is explained. So this one, you can find it even today. In fact, I took the screenshot today. So, so this is there, and it explains in full detail on what are the benefits of rewards. So if you haven't claimed your rewards, this is where to go, and you can redeem your vouchers, your coins, sorry, for vouchers and rewards, and then shop more. So what was the impact? So users of Fun Farm had, as you saw, it has 28% uplift after playing. So sorry, I forgot to change this. Okay, sorry, that's, I forgot to put in the coins rewards related information. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you do so much research. So importance of, now this whole, I'll go into the importance of ratings and reviews. Why am I speaking about it now after all these coins and all? Because how do you get these coins, right? It's also about not just playing games, but also about ratings and reviews. We actually did a study to understand the importance of reviews, but there were multiple studies where we were getting this importance. So I'll take you through some of them and the results which we had got. So what we found is that other buyers' reviews and ratings were being highly requested for, and it was also being referred to. So buyers needed a lot of time and attention to check because they needed some reliable cues to identify a trusted seller. And reviews and ratings was one of the best way to communicate the reliable cue that this is a trusted seller. But then, on the other hand, they needed this information, but they expected other buyers to provide it for them. When it came to their own selves, they refer to the ratings and reviews, but they do not give an honest review out of politeness. Or they just don't fill in the reviews. And then we also looked into other studies where we saw that, yes, buyers' reviews and videos, especially video streamings or video reviews, basically, are something which, or product testimonials are something which people are requesting more than influencers just doing live streaming about products. So other buyers are much more trusted than an influencer, and their testimonial is much more valuable. But how do we even get them to give a review? Because at one point of time, we used to think that it's okay if they want to give a review, it's up to them. But then we increasingly saw that other people were looking for it. Other users were looking for it. In fact, the people who don't even give their own reviews actually look for other people to give their reviews. So it was kind of like a vicious cycle that you don't get reviews until and unless you give them as well, because it has to come from a massive volume of users. So that's when the incentivizing reviews with Lazcoin started. So if you go to your review page, like you can, there are anything you shop for, you will be asked to review. And the moment you review, you also get coins for it. If you want to make more coins, this is just a tip from one of the heavy users of Lazada. That's me. You can review one every day, which means that you'll get 10 coins every day. So, because if you do it at once, you get it only 10 coins. So that's my tip for you. So impact is that sorry, I'll just skip this part also. So in terms of live streaming and influencers, this is what we were talking about, that how does then live streaming and influencers fit in, right? Because people are looking for reviews, people are looking for other buyers' content. So how does live streaming and influencers then fit in? Because seems like that's not so much in demand, but well, that's not the full story. There are people who look into live streaming and influencers, and we saw this from the time we had launched it last year, that live streaming is hugely popular. So how to improve our live streaming content? Now, this is not based on one study only, but we have seen it from different studies that people do watch live streaming, not just in our channel, but also from social commerce channels. And the youngsters are pretty, some of them are addicted to it. Some of them kind of get influenced pretty easily, but they also have, they know what they want. So most of them are looking for unique products, and that's when they buy through a live streaming. And also the best part of live streaming, as everyone knows, is that it brings in the whole, it brings everything live, right? The product is brought live. So So this one is a study which we did, and we saw that influencers' content on live streaming seemed like hard selling. So that was the main issue which we were finding in live streaming, that people think when, especially an influencer comes, not so much a seller, but influencers when they come in. And even for sellers, obviously seller will be hard selling their own products. And even when influencers come in, they should, they shouldn't look like they are hard selling. So these are some things which we got, and like the insights was that there was a dislike for influencers live stream, especially from people who do not watch live streaming at all, or used to watch live streaming but has left. This was a study done before COVID, but after COVID, obviously live streaming took up a lot. But how did we improve our live streaming content? So this is something which our live streaming team did, and they trained the sellers and the live streamings on the art of live streaming. What I will do is, I realize that I am, there's quite a few slides, and I have already taken up 50 minutes. I did not realize that I will take up so much time, but I can talk a lot. So, and there's a lot of product research to show as well. I was thinking of showing you the video for live streamers, but I think we'll just skip that for now. So there's basically a video, there's instructions on the art of live streaming. And I know today this webinar is being live streamed actually to the Seller Center, to among the sellers. So some of you might have already used it and also gained from it, and hopefully you have got better sales, because it's not the frequency but content and delivery, as those with lower frequency but higher quality content and not so much hard selling saw better sales. So now, after they have seen the live streaming, they obviously come and try to search, right, for the product. So how did we enhance the search experience? So I'll go through this quickly. So we were trying to have a better guided browsing and search experience, even though frankly our algorithm is one of the best in this region, and our browsing and search experience, we are not claiming this, but we've got this from multiple research, that it is really, it is quite good. And the algorithm, the technology behind it is very powerful. So, so we wanted to understand what they want, and hence what we did is this is our current one, where this is current Lazada. So one of the things which users mentioned, that they did not mention that there is a filter function. There is actually a filter function. A lot of people miss it because it's right in one corner with just an arrow button, kind of like this part. So we also had some static store banner, which was, so this one was like, there's a lot of text heavy recommendation tile, like this is a recommendation tile. So this is very text heavy. People might not read through it. So this is current Lazada. We tested a lot of concepts from different parts of the world, not just from Southeast Asia, but different concepts from different e-commerce companies. And we wanted to see which one has the best search and browse experience, or at least which ones had some elements which are really liked by users, so that we can implement those bits and pieces from different concepts, basically different apps. So what we got is that there was no particular computer search and browse experience which stood out. So that obviously gives Lazada the opportunity that we can redefine the experience, because we are not competing against anyone, at least. In terms of interactive, this thing, so I'll show you what we are thinking about is, if you see, this is the kind of, this is about refining your search, but generally your recommendations also come in this text heavy format. What we had, one of the findings is that something like this, a dynamic and interactive visual element, would be a better thing. What is the impact? We are still designing the prototype, and we are, there's a lot of revamp which is going on for the browsing and search. So we will get to know about that when you use the new revamped app. So what about our free shipping, right? So when you try to browse and find a product you want to buy, do you even look into the free shipping? So this is something where we did some FGDs in 5 countries. And then we wanted to increase the free shipping usage rate, because we had the free shipping, but then again, what is the visibility? Just like you saw the search and browse filter was not being used, there's no visibility for it, even though it's there and it's pretty good, but it's not visible. So here again, we found that free shipping was not leading to so much of conversions, was not being noticed. So again, from the old, the key findings and generally the new, I'll just do an evaluation. I mean, I'll just show you quickly. So here you see that the green truck was something which people were associating strongly with the free shipping. But then the people had an issue that they did not find that these conditions are transparent and visible and it's clear to them, you know. So this one is a consistent free shipping color icon, which is a green one. And this color is used with very clear CTA call to action. And, you know, and also that if you see this one mentions that if you buy this much amount, only then you will, this is obviously a prototype, this is not a real one, but we've already launched this now, this, so you can see the live version as well. And again, it is being revamped already. So there's a lot of revamp which goes on all the time because we are always doing some sort of research or the other. And already actually two research already done on this, and the third one is is about to go on. So, so this is a bit dated, and that's the time when we launched this. We saw that there's some, you know, when we maintained the consistency and we put in the communication for conditions and criteria, we saw this cart conversion rate go up by 3%. Now, we also did a redesigning of the payment flow because after you've put in the free shipping, you obviously want to buy the particular product, right? So in terms of improving payment experience, again, we did some usability testing, but this was only done in Indonesia, which obviously is one of the biggest markets in this region. So again, what we found is, you know, this was the old design. We did not particularly find any usability issues, but then there was, we noticed that for the new prototype on the new design, there was a lot of ease of use which increased. So the new design was more noticeable, clearer, and the, you know, final confirmation of order success did not, there was some extra steps to it. And so we redefined those as well. This is again a prototype which I have put in, which was tested at that point of time, but has been revised now. So the discount offered also, you know, was, it was changing from COD to card payment. But then we had to trigger that switch, basically, there was a whole high barrier of security perception with card payment. So the new design was successfully launched and there was no major user experience issues, which we noticed from the other feedback mechanisms which we have. And the checkout had got a 5% increase. So in terms of, okay, so let me check. Okay, so this is the last study which I'll be talking about. And thanks to Professor LG, who's perhaps joined the webinar as well. We are doing this study for localization versus globalization. And so one of the key things which, when, you know, you've seen all these design being tested, one of the key questions we always have is that how much do we localize? Because we operate in 6 countries which are very different from each other in their taste of design. Then yet we have some similarities. But obviously completely localizing it will lose the brand flavor. And so obviously we cannot completely localize it. And also it is a huge resource kind of a limitation which we have. Any company will have that and they never want to localize completely. So there is a debate always on how much to localize versus how much to keep it globalized. So what interfaces, so we wanted to see what interface design do locals prefer? How do you prioritize between the elements to localize? And for this study, we collaborated with the NTU on, you know, actually finding out what is the, you know, how much localization to do. this is ongoing. This is actually, the study is going on. It's still not completed, but is being done in a few phases. So we had some literature review where, the NTU team actually, and it's being done in Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand. So there are local teams, local counterparts of NTU in different universities who are actually going through literature of 5 years from 2015 to 2020. So they have gone through about 170 research articles, industry reports, which is about market growth, consumer behavior, technology. And they have identified about more than 30 interface elements like information density, color, search results, and call to action is a few of them, obviously. We can't be listing all the 30 right here right now. But, and then there's like about more than 15 experience factors, which also has been identified, which impacts consumer likes and dislikes and their so what goes into interface design basically. So ease of use, visual appeal, brand awareness, trust are some of them. Then after that phase, we went into the app comparison. So we got 30 local apps analyzed, not just e-commerce, but generally any commerce, which can be about fintech, it can be about transportation apps, any kind of apps which are known for their design, or any apps which are very popular in the local markets were all analyzed. So we had 10 in each market. There were 3 user journeys: planned, unplanned, and social buying, which we were looking for. We had some information about it from other research, but we wanted to see how all these apps kind of perform on that. And then we had some 47 touch points, which they have identified, and in user journeys, which have been examined, which is search products, reading reviews, encountering deals, vouchers. How do they go about it? How does a user go about it? So there's potential, obviously, improvements which have been identified after going through this touch points and this user journey. That's something for another day. So, they have also created a digital localization playbook for UX designers, quick and easy reference. And the next phase, which we are going into, is focus groups, where we will be doing about 18 focus groups, like 6 in each market, where there will be obviously a lot of discussions on all these findings, which we already have from the literature review and the app comparison. We want to verify the prioritization methodology. So there is a structure, there is a framework which NTU and Lazada is coming up with. It's called the I2G. It's obviously going to be kind of like a patented one for the both of us, and it's the intelligent into. It's I2 because intelligent into indigenous localization strategy, or the details of it will be published soon. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. So any questions for me? I have to check. Can I stop sharing?
Yeah, we have actually like one question. I should just answer that one question would be actually fine. So the question is actually, as a Lazadian, in fact, the dog footing and double care are totally out of my awareness. How did we actually promote them internally and communicate? So, and where can we find them? So I just think it's an internal thing.
Yeah. So
I leave it to you to answer.
Yeah, sure. So the double care has been promoted a lot. Now, I am based in Singapore. I have to check whether it has been promoted across the region or just in Singapore right now, because obviously I know the double care app is right now, at least what I see on my phone is the English version. So have they translated all the FAQs and how to take care of the questions from your relatives and friends? I'm not very sure. I have to check on that. Please ding me. I think there's only one Sanchita in Lazada, so you can find me anytime. I will put you in touch with the right person. But double care has been kind of advertised everywhere by the customer care team and the HR team. So HR is promoting that through almost every day, even when we get our first message that please do your health check-in every morning. Sometimes the double care pops up. So that's definitely been promoted internally. What about dog fooding? Oh, well, that's something which is now being beta tested among a few people. So a lot of people who used to already give feedback among them, and some of them who are obviously part of this whole dog fooding project, then automatically it will be passed after that. Yes, there is everything built up right now. It's just time when we will be launching it. Because right now you can also join there's a Lazada app portal where app reviews portal where you can actually put in your app reviews, but that is more like unstructured data. This will structure the entire thing. So everything will be put into a structure format. So
okay,
yeah.
thank you, Sanchita. Again, we of course we actually over exceed our dedicated time. So again, I'm going to quickly just wrap up on the. I think we went through a lot of learnings today, basically on how designing actually affects like CTR, traffic conversion and stuff. I hope you learned something new today, and of course we want to thank Sanchita for spending her time to really go through the in-depth information on individual slides itself. So again, if you like this one, please share with your friend. So let someone knows you love what you learned today, and then definitely we appreciate that you can bring this kind of sessions to you in our own capacity. So let's cover one more. I think last question before any session. So does UX researcher in Lazada also cover product market research in early stages? Example, impact of COVID and which may delay the product launch.
Okay, so this one, see, in terms of product launch, frankly, we did not have any delays. We had a lot of work during COVID, and because it was, in fact, we had more work during COVID than pre-COVID, perhaps because we were very busy trying to cater to users' needs during that time, because COVID time was the time when both the sellers and the buyers had different needs. There were a lot of new sellers, not of new buyers. New buyers have different needs, new sellers have different needs. So we were catering to everyone, and we had a lot of products which were launched. Did they get delayed because of COVID? No. Did we do research to decide on what is required by a new buyer? Yes, we did. And we are still doing, actually, because there's a lot of people, new buyers who have onboarded. So right now there's a study going on in Indonesia. We have done one before, and we will be doing this across countries among new buyers. For sellers, we actually did a COVID survey back in March or April, just when COVID started. I think it was just start of April, when we did a full COVID survey that what are your issues, what are you facing, how can we solve it for you. So there was a full survey done on it, and then the seller team actually went out, interviewed a lot of sellers as to what problems they are facing. So yes, we did a lot of surveys. We tried to train the new sellers. Obviously there is a whole team for it, and they anyway train all new sellers, but this time there was a lot of new sellers who were onboarded, local sellers who onboarded and who benefited from coming online. Yes. Hope that answers
All right,
it.
so thank you very much. Again, the last question we'll take. And again, thank you everyone for your time. And thank you, Sanchita, for this presentation. Excellent presentation. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye. Have a great weekend ahead.
Thanks to everyone for listening in.